Well, wait a second. Is it Thursday night? No. Is it Tipsy Tuesday? No. Last I saw it was Friday. This is a special edition of whatever we're going to call this. This is just Chris and Aaron hanging out. Obviously, Chris Profi, Musically Obsessed. We've got Aaron Mutha Alamere here. But there's no Jeff Witcher. There's no Gary from Physical Format. There's no JC. There's no Cosmic Brian. Where is everybody? Well, Aaron and I realized that we are probably the only two in the group that really, really like Metallica's Saint Anger. So we are going to be talking about this record today. I just got a vinyl copy. Aaron's probably had it since it came out. I've got the reissue. He's got the original version. So Aaron, welcome, brother.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Good. Yeah,
all right.
So much fun. I mean, anytime, we can all get together in some way and talk about music, it's always a good time. So as I was saying before, we're going to talk about Saint Anger, and it's gotten a lot of hate over the years. And, we're just going to kind of talk about how much we really enjoy the record. And we were just talking before the video started, saying that it's really becoming one of our favorite albums by Metallica. Now, it will never surpass Ride the Lightning. It will never surpass Master of Puppets, but it's slowly starting to creep up on our list of favorite Metallica albums. So just a little backstory here. As everybody knows, it was their 8th album, came out in 2003. And we all know the backstory. Metallica was falling apart. Then they had the psychiatrist come in. They had the video or the movie Some Kind of Monster. We all saw the background of what they were going through. We all know about the sound of the drums, the tin can sound. We know that it's such a very rough album, but these are some of the things that attract us to it. So Aaron, I don't know if you want to say anything about some of your initial thoughts about the album before we get into some of our favorite songs.
Well, I really got into this album when it first came out. I bought it on vinyl and on CD, and the CD had a DVD with it. And the DVD I watched over and over. It was just to them rehearsing the whole album. And it's just, it was just, I really loved the energy and the rawness of the sound of it. And I drank a lot of beer listening to it, and it really impacted me at that time, where I really, I've loved it since the beginning, actually. And a lot of people are like, oh, why do you like that? And I just I don't know. There's something about it. The raw energy of it just really attracted me.
I totally agree with you, because I remember, just trying to straighten my glasses here. Of course, this was following Load and Reload, and I really like those albums. I've grown to, at first when those albums came out, I wasn't really into them, but you can't argue with the production. The production is spot on. I think the songwriting is really good. A lot of people have said Load and Reload could have been a better single album, and, probably right, but it is what it is. But I think people were ready for something heavier from Metallica. And when I first heard the riffs on, because I think, was Saint Anger the first single release from this album?
I'm sorry, you were cut out there. What'd you say?
Oh, was Saint Anger the first single released on this album? Was it Frantic? I can't remember which one.
It might have been Some Kind of Monster.
Okay. Well,
I think it might have been Monster.
But regardless, I think one of the first tunes I heard was either Frantic or Saint Anger. And that guitar tone from the beginning, it's such an angry guitar tone. And Metallica, hadn't sounded that angry since probably Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning. Just that it was almost like a youthful energy that they had back again. And, I have said this before. I mentioned this to you guys last night. It's almost like Metallica created a new genre of music, and I called it garage thrash. And I said to you guys last night, if any other band came out with this record, people would have been like, holy crap, this sounds totally unique and different. This could be a whole new start of something. But it was Metallica. We were all used to, it's produced by Bob Rock and blah, blah, blah. And we were, thinking, oh, this is going to be, sonically like Load and Reload, but it was totally different. I mean, this is produced by Bob Rock, but he was going for a different sound. So, and cut in any time, Aaron, because I'll just keep talking. But I don't know if you want to say anything else.
Well, let's see. I had something.
Or you want to get into some of our favorite songs?
Sure. That'll get me going.
All right. Yeah. So, okay. So we've talked about, obviously the sound of this record is different. People think that the drums are a little jarring, sort of this tin can sound. It doesn't really bother me that much. I think it's more pronounced in some songs than others. I look at it as they were going for a vibe on this album, and they got it. They wanted a garage vibe, and it is a garage vibe. And the thing is, you cannot go into this album thinking you're going to hear Master of Puppets. It's something totally different. It's an angry record. It's a raw record. James's voice cracks in certain songs. Sometimes the songs almost seem like they're just about to fall apart, and then they keep going. Like there's just this sort of spontaneity to it that I like as well. People are pissed off because Kirk Hammett isn't really playing solos on this record. I don't know. Like, it doesn't bother me. I like Kirk's solos, but I'm not missing them on this album.
When I watched it on DVD all the time, that's one of the things that struck me was it doesn't have actual solos, but They're playing so fast. It's almost like the whole album is one continual solo in a way. And the rhythm is just really fast and constantly, their hands are just going crazy on it. And that I really like that. And I really liked, like you're saying, that heavy guitar sound that they had. And James on the video had his guitar. It was like a steel plated thing, kind of weird. Yeah. And I think it had that sound to it, added that sound. It was really odd. Yeah, on there.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Was Rob Trujillo? He wasn't in the band by this point, Rob.
Yes, this is his first album. I think that gave him a little bit of the kick, the new energy for the band, because this is his first outing, and he's down there playing like he's like almost at crotch level, playing down on how he plays like that, and just really grooving out to it on the video. It's really cool.
I'm so stupid. I'm asking, is Rob Trujillo in the band? Here's the photo now.
This is an odd album to introduce him on, but I think that's what gave it the heavy, raw sound, was introducing him to Metallica on this record. And he just gave an extra energy that they were lacking a little bit. It's like their last two albums were really good, but they're a little more slick, more produced. And this went back to like Kill 'Em All, where just the raw aggression, which is what draws me to this record so much.
I'm glad you mentioned the word slick, because I agree with you. Like Load and Reload, I felt like Metallica was starting to get a little cute. Like it was like the sound change was okay, but then they did everything at once. Like they cut their hair, they started to wear stylish clothes, they started to wear some makeup. The songs got cute, they got shorter. They were on award shows and this, that, and they did like everything at once, and I think it was almost like too much to handle. And now looking back, like I can appreciate the music more, but when that stuff first started to come out, it was just like almost too many changes at once. It wasn't like a gradual change.
Yeah, you're right. But I really liked Load a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do too.
Great. The Cure, the song The Cure, I love that one. And there's some really good stuff on there. Yeah,
so let's get into this album. Like we were saying before, it's a change. I felt like it was something Metallica needed to do. It was like, all right, it's almost like a palate cleanser. It's like, all right, we're just gonna clear away all this shit. We're gonna start again. We're gonna push all this. It was almost like they had all this aggression they just wanted to get out, and then they could move on from there. So it's almost like a therapeutic album for them, obviously, if you've watched the documentary. So some of my favorite songs, and I think Aaron and I have already kind of talked, and it's interesting because we're going to get to it later on. One of my songs, which is my least favorite, is actually Aaron's favorite. So, or one of his favorites, I should say. So when we get to that point, that'll be interesting. So stick around if you want to hear out what that song is. So First of all, it opens up with Frantic, which is one of my favorite songs. And like I said, it opens up with this dirty guitar riff, this tone, and it's back to thrash. Like you're like, holy shit, like Metallica is can still play thrash. Like we haven't heard this in a while. And then I've read reviews where people don't like the part where he goes frantic, tick, 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 tock. I love that. Like it when I listen to that in the car, like I like want to drive faster. It just gets you going. It's almost like this adrenaline rush. And then I love when he says, "My lifestyle determines my death style," and he just has this. I don't know. James sort of got an anger back in his voice, and I like it. Like I said, his voice got a little cute in Load and Reload, and I like those albums, but I like Angry James too.
Yeah, he was starting to become a crooner a little bit, and he went back to the aggressive thrash style vocals a little more, which I really like. And Frantic is also one of my favorites on here. Just, like you said, right from that beginning guitar, just the heaviness, and it's like it's Metallica again, even though they were still Metallica. That's what I always when I hear it. And Frantic is an amazing song. It's probably one of my top 20 songs of Metallica. Even I love that one. It's not my favorite on the record, but it's one of them.
And I like this album, the whole album. It's a dangerous album. Like I like it that you don't like when you put it on, it's almost like you don't know how people are going to react to it. That's what I like about it. It's almost like when you put on, I know we keep going back to Load and Reload, but when you put on Load and Reload, people are probably going to like it because it's got that production. The songs are, they're well written and the topics are, people can get into it. But like when you put on Saint Anger, it's a dangerous record. Like some people are not going to like it. Some people might be offended by it. And, but I think I like that about it. It's unstable,
Yes, absolutely.
So,
and that might have had something to do with the stuff they were going through. It kind of reflected in it, all their the therapeutic nature of all the stuff.
Definitely. And then the second track is another one of my favorites, the title track, Saint Anger. Again, the guitar tone on this record is just killer. It's so heavy. And then you hear Lars doing the double bass, and it was like, okay, wow, Lars can still play. And I think he's actually gotten better as the years have progressed. I mean, people always say, "Oh, Lars sucks." He doesn't suck. He's a good drummer. He's got his own style, and it was nice to hear him doing, the double bass again. And James's vocals, I love the chorus and the verse, "Saint Anger around my neck," and then I like when they're like chanting, "You flush it out, you flush it out."
That's Robert Trujillo.
What were you gonna say?
That's Robert Trujillo doing that part. Him and Kirk are doing flush it out, flush it out. And it's really cool. I love that.
And then I don't know if they had any swear words in Load and Reload, but on Saint Anger, suddenly they're like, "Fuck it all and no regrets and fucking hit the lights." And I'm like, yeah, like, and it's not like, I mean, we're in our 40s and 50s. It's not like we need to hear the F word or anything, it's not like we're 13 years old, but it's such a powerful word. And when you pair that with the sound of the song, it's like it's just so aggressive.
It gives it an attitude.
Yeah.
An attitude that was kind of lost. Like you would have heard that.
I'm sorry.
What? Go ahead.
No, keep going because I didn't want to cut your thought off.
It's really odd that your cover's a lot more orange than mine. Just noticing that.
Yeah. You were saying something about the youthful energy or something like that, right?
Yeah, I just when they just the swearing, it isn't just about the swearing, but it just adds brings it back to when they're in their teens and 20s. I think how it's the sound and just that whole feel. Yeah, it's like Kill 'Em All has a certain feel where it's just raw, and that's what this one is.
And as you were saying that, and as I was saying that, I put my fist in the air and I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's the cover. Now, isn't the artist Pusshead or something like that, right?
I'm not sure about that, but it probably is.
I think the artist did some of the early Metallica, maybe T-shirts or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but
this looks a lot like the Master of Puppets type artwork they had. You're right. For the shirt.
I think it's Pusshead.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I shared a couple favorite tunes. I mean, I got some other ones. I don't know if you want to talk about a couple of your favorite songs.
Well, I really like Dirty Window a lot. I just
Okay.
love that song. And Invisible Kid is one of my favorites, where it's like Invisible Kid, then it kicks into a heavier, faster pace a little bit.
Yeah.
I really love that. And it's just every time I hear it, I keep picturing that DVD in my head and just seeing Kirk going nuts and just shredding out, even though he's not doing solos. And it's just and them doing the backup singing. And yeah, and I actually really like the drum sound of this album. A lot of people hate it, but that's one of the things I like. And it to me, it seems like it's almost a drum-driven record, and I like drums a lot. So it kind of is forward by the drums instead of them just being in the background to me. And I like that. A couple of the times it gets a little tinny, but it's not. It's only a few times where it actually bothers me on the record. Most of the time, I really like it, and it's only the snare. The rest of it's all great. And I think Lars is a great drummer. I think he's very people don't think he's as good as he really is. I think he's got a unique sound, almost like Ringo Starr, where Ringo has a unique sound. He's not like the fastest drummer, but you take his drumming out, put a normal drummer in the Beatles, and it doesn't sound the same. That's what Lars is like to Metallica to me.
I agree with you. And I think, Lars is not the best drummer, but you're right. He has a style to him. And what's nice about it is he's not perfect. So a lot of times when you listen to thrash bands like Testament or Anthrax or, Death Angel or any of these bands, the drumming is it's almost like, it sounds like a machine because it's freaking perfect. Lars has a little bit more life to his drumming. It's a little bit more give and take. And I think he comes from a jazz background. I think his dad was into jazz, and that probably is in his drumming as well. And I notice his fills are they're unique, and sometimes they're not exactly like on the beat, but like you were saying, it adds a uniqueness to their sound.
And I like that. I don't like it when it's exact perfect. I like my music to be more flowing and more generic, not generic. It's just like I can't think of the word. Just like a free flowing like a bluesy, where it's a little behind or a little ahead of the beat, but again, that's what gives it the feel. It's right on the beat. It's just like everyone else sounds. So I really like that.
I would love to know, because I don't think they said this in the movie, but why they chose that drum sound. You know what I mean? Bob Rock, didn't he produce Dr. Feelgood?
I believe so.
Yeah, this guy knows how to produce, and he knows how to get the perfect sound from instruments. You wonder why they chose that sound. And again, it doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't bother you, but it's sort of it's a unique sound. You wonder why they chose that for the drums.
But you put this record on, it's that record just from the drums. And I like that about it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, this might be one of those albums in like 20 more years. People go back and say, wait a second, Metallica was onto something here. Like I said, maybe they created a whole new genre. I don't think anybody else is doing other albums that sound like Saint Anger, but I don't know. It's cool. You had mentioned Dirty Window. That is a cool track. There's a part in there where he's like, projector, reject, infector. That's really cool. And then he's got this little vocal part. I'm judge and I'm jury and I'm executioner too.
Some of my favorite parts in that drum thing. While he's doing.
And you mentioned Invisible Kid. That's a cool song. It sort of has like a punk vibe to it. I'm looking at my notes here. It's sort of like it's like little catchy rhythmic melody that doesn't sound anything like Metallica's ever done before. And it's just a cool vibe. I agree with you on that one. And
I like the beer song a lot too.
The beer song? Oh, Sweet Amber?
Sweet Amber. Yeah.
Sweet Amber.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I love he's like, how sweet are you? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
How sweet does it get? Yeah, and that song, like there's double bass midway through. And it just breaks into this like unique vocal line that James is doing. That's a cool song too. It's got this like little bluesy opener riff to it. They were trying all different things, which I think was really cool. It's like new guitar tones, no solos, a different drum sound, sort of this angry thing with James's vocals. The songs were kind of all over the place. It's one of those albums that you can hear something different every time you listen to it.
Yeah, and like even like Purify almost is a hardcore punk sound at times, almost like a thrash crossover. Really love that song. I mean, I love this album. I know I'm one of the few. But
well, no, I like it too. And I'm sure that there will be people that watch this video and say, hey, I like it too. And there might also be some people like, you guys are freaking crazy. This album sucks. But you know what? Everybody's entitled to. You had mentioned Purify. You guys know how I like Sam Hain and the Misfits and everything. And I know Metallica was really influenced by the Misfits, especially. But in the chorus of Purify, I get a Sam Hain vibe to it. And I know you don't listen to a lot of Sam Hain. I know you listen to the Misfits.
and
and Danzig. And anybody who listens to Sam Hain, I mean, call me crazy, the chorus of Purify sounds sort of Sam Hain-esque. But it's a really cool vibe. My favorite song on this album, and then we'll get into that thing I was talking about, how there's a song that I don't really care for, but is Aaron's favorite, or one of his favorites. My favorite tune on this album is The Unnamed Feeling. Now, I did a ranking of Metallica songs, and this was in my top 10. And it's alongside Master of Puppets and Fight Fire with Fire and Dyer's Eve, and The Unnamed Feeling is there. It's such a killer song. It's the chorus, the heaviness of it, James's vocals, the melody, and The Unnamed Feeling. It's so it comes alive, yeah. It's just so heavy, and every time I hear it, it's like this wave of emotion that comes through me in that song. And it really, I know we've talked about that the production doesn't bother us, but I really feel like if that song was produced a little differently, it probably could have been a big song for them, because I think people are like, they don't want to listen to it because they don't like the sound of it. It's such a good song. It's so well written too. I don't know.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah. That's probably my second or third favorite on the record too. I love it. And it almost has a mixture of the like Black Album sound of vocals with his sound on this. He kind of mixes that in the chorus a little bit, how he sings on the Black Album and loads. So it kind of is a little bit of a tie-in. That's that song there.
Yeah, and I agree with him. And the groove is cool too. He's like, I've been here before, couldn't say I like it, couldn't start writing all this down. It's just like you want to and you believe, like, I don't know, you believe James when he's singing these songs. You almost feel like you were saying before too, like it's probably because the therapist was there and they were going through all this shit, but it's like they needed to do this. And like you can hear that James is dealing with a lot of stuff. And it's almost like this was musical therapy for him. And it was musical therapy for the band. And I tell you what, like it or not, this was probably the album that kept Metallica together. We probably wouldn't have gotten Death Magnetic and the S&M album and, what's the latest one called again? I can't remember.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct. We probably wouldn't have gotten any of those albums if it wasn't for Saint Anger.
Yeah, and those took a heavier path where Metallica was getting a little mellower. And after this, they started going heavier again after the sound of this album, I think. And it just really helped them a lot. Yeah. Even if people don't, and they like those later ones, they got to admit that this album really pushed them in that direction.
Yeah, I think this was Metallica's marijuana. This was their gateway into cocaine and being Death Magnetic.
Yeah,
I can't believe I just said that, but I probably lost about a few subscribers, but whatever. It is what it is. All right, so now comes the part of the video where we're going to talk about a song that happens to be, it's not that I don't like it, but it's my least favorite on the album. And chatting with Aaron, I found out that it's his favorite. So
yep, it is.
That song is Shoot Me Again. So Aaron, why don't you tell me one of your favorites?
Well, I just love the lyrics and the vocals, especially. the "Shoot Me Again, I Ain't Dead Yet," that part, I just love it, and it has this build to it. And every time I hear that song, all the hairs on my arm stand up, and it just gives me this, makes me, gives me aggression, like you're saying with "Frantic" does you in the car. That's what that song does. I don't know why. It just always has done that to me. I made a mixed thing of Metallica songs back, 10 years ago. And that's the one song that this
really
on it. Yeah. So I was trying to show. I was making a mixtape for someone that didn't really know Metallica, and I put "Shoot 'Em Again" on there, or "Shoot Me Again," and it's just that whole I love it. Just trying to look at the lyrics here.
And it's funny because you had mentioned you like the part where he's like, "Shoot me again, shoot me again," and for whatever reason that kind of bothers me a little bit. It's I don't know if it's because I feel like he says it too many times, or I mean, I do like the beginning has like these machine gun guitars in it. I like. Then they kind of break into this groove. There's some like grunge harmonies in it.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, it's my least favorite on the album. Like, if I don't hear that song again, I wouldn't be upset. But that's what's funny and great about music is here I am talking about the song that, again, it's not like it's not like I hate it, but it's just my least favorite on the album. But it's your favorite, and
all the shots
yeah, you're like, if you're gonna make a mix for somebody, you're gonna put shoot me again" on there. And I wouldn't. So, but that's what makes us unique, I guess, right? So,
everything.
Listen, we're still friends. Aaron and I are still friends. So look, people, you can disagree, but you can still be friends. See that? We just disagreed on something. So hopefully everybody learns something through this. What were you going to say?
I just, probably my weakest song on this would be "My World," maybe.
"My World"?
For this record. I like that song, but it's probably my weakest. I like "Some Kind of Monster" a lot. I like "All of the Hands" is great. I like "My World," but that's probably my least favorite on here. Like yours is "Shoot Me Again."
Yeah, and there's something he says in there when he's like, "It's my world," and then I don't know if he says "sucker" or "suck it." He goes, "Suck it," and I don't know if it's "sucker" or "suck it," but then after that, it breaks into this cool groove. But yeah, I don't mind that song, but
He does swear a lot, though.
What'd you say?
He does swear on that one too. That's one of the swearing songs.
My thing with like it opens up with "Frantic," "Saint Anger," and "Some Kind of Monster." I feel like that's a 1, 2, 3 punch, like really heavy. And then for me, "Dirty Window," "Invisible Kid," and "My World," I like those songs, but for whatever reason, they sort of it's hard to tell the difference between them for myself. And then I get into "Shoot Me Again," which I told you is my least favorite. Then I feel like the album ends really strong, like "Sweet Angel," killer, "The Unnamed Feeling," "Purify," and then "All Within My Hands." That song sounds totally different than anything Metallica's ever done. It's got this heavy intro, and then there's this like little, it's like a gothic atmospheric verse thing that they're doing. Like, it almost sounds like like Kirk is tapping on his guitar or something. They create this vibe. It almost sounds like a keyboard, but I don't think there's a keyboard on this album. It's nothing like anything Metallica's ever done. But it's a cool song.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. But to me, it starts off really strong and "Frantic." And then I like "Saint Anger" and "Some Kind of Monster," but they kind of meander, I think. And then it picks up again with "Dirty Window," "Invisible Kid."
Right.
That's how, everyone sees things differently.
Right. But I mean, I love this. And again, "Shoot Me Again" aside, I like this whole album like you do. And I can't wait to hear. Why is mine so orange, though?
Yeah, mine has a deal down there, too. It's just because it's a repress. Yeah. It's just been used a lot.
Yeah.
I listened a lot when I got it.
But, I can't wait to hear and read people's comments on this because, I think we're going to get people who say we're crazy, this album sucks. Yeah, they're going to say you should just use the album as a Frisbee. We're going to get people who kind of agree with us, I think, that this album is really good. Or we're going to get people who have said, I hated the album at first, but now I really like it. Or we could get some people who go, you know what, guys, I'm going to go back in and revisit that album again since you guys like it. because I know people respect us. They respect Chris and Aaron because we act like we know what we're talking about, but we do know what we're talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you have any like final thoughts on the record at all.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say, if I was to rank my Metallica records, this would be right around number 5 for me, 4 or 5. Right after the first 3 with Cliff Burton are obviously the best, right. And then then to me it's this one and Justice for All next, and before the Black Album, before the Load and Reload, and I really like Death Magnetic a lot, and I like Hardwired a lot, but I think this might be it might even be my 4th. It's my 5th favorite at the least. And I love all the Metallica records, but
yeah,
it's a special place for me because I was drinking a lot when it came out.
You might get some hate mail because of that.
That's all right.
I'm just kidding.
The Cliff Burton albums are the best by far, though. It's not even close. But
no, and I agree with you. I mean, like you said, we're not going to argue with Kill 'Em All, You Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. I mean, those are just classic. I mean, those will go down as, classic metal thrash albums of all time. Like, when we talk about albums like Led Zeppelin 4 and Deep Purple in rock and, Judas Priest, I don't know, Screaming for Vengeance or something like that. The Metallica, those first 3 albums, they can be mentioned in those lists because they're that good. They're that influential. And I agree with you. I think you're probably, you like a lot of people probably like the heavier Metallica stuff.
Mm-hmm. I do.
And that's what this album is. I mean, this is a heavy freaking Metallica album. And I was talking to you before this video, and I probably would listen to this before And Justice for All some days. And I know I'm going to get hate mail for that too. I think the reason is because I think In Justice for All, I love the album. It's killer. I mean, one on there. You've got Eye of the Beholder, Blackened. I mean, Shortest Straw, everything. The album is killer. But for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know if it's the songs are a little bit longer or a little bit more proggy, but I like the aggression on this album.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. And I forgot, I would actually put the 598 EP probably above this, and that might actually be my 4th, even though it's an EP. I love that one too.
Oh, that album is killer. I remember as a kid listening to that, I was like, holy shit, Helpless is on there, and The Small Hours is such a good song. And that
Crash Course Surgery.
Yeah, that's how we were all introduced to Budgie and
Diamond Head.
Yeah, I didn't know who those freaking bands were.
Misfits.
Yeah, it was such a cool album. It was like, I don't know. I agree with you. That's a very strong album. I love they look so cool on the cover of that album too.
It's their hair metal album.
Yeah, I mean, they're in the shower, and they look cool. I mean, yeah, Metallica was the shit back then, and they still are. I still like Metallica. I was listening to the new album,
Hardwired.
I can't, for whatever reason, can't remember the title. That's actually a really good. I like that. I think I like that better than Death Magnetic. I like the production on it. I like the songwriting, and that might be an interesting video too. Hardwired compared
to
Death Magnetic, yeah.
So I'm a huge Death Magnetic fan. I love that album, and I like Hardwired a lot. I like them both. They're both. And
I don't want to sound like a music snob, but it's going to come across as a music snob. Excuse me, but I don't like the production of Death Magnetic. I think I was saying this to you the other night. I feel like it was pushed a little bit too much in the mixing or mastering or whatever. So you get some compression, and it's like, I don't know. It's sort of there's some distortion when I turn it up. And it was funny because I said that, and you said to me, "Well, that's the part that you like about it." So it's I guess to each his own, right? For whatever reason. I don't know. It's just the mix or the mastering of that album is a little bit too loud for me. And it's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. I like the songs on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got some of their best songs, I think.
Definitely.
There's some really good ones.
Definitely. I totally agree. I you know, the 598 EP, I think I'm gonna go listen to that after this video because I love that record.
Amazing.
But anyway, so final thoughts here, guys. Listen, Saint Anger is not as bad as you think. And I think if you didn't like it back in 2003, you should probably pull it out again and listen to it. I've got the CD as well. Like Aaron was saying, it comes with the DVD of the live performances, which is really cool. You know, we'd be interested to hear what you guys think. And do you like this album? Do you not like this album? If you do, what are some of your favorite songs? What are some of your least favorite songs? Where does this album rank for you in the Metallica discography? We're interested to know. So, all right. Anything else, Mr. Mutha Alamer? Yeah, check it out.
Yeah,
Pretty badass. They're looking pretty badass, even with short hair.
Trujillo.
Yeah, like Lars is like, hey, ladies, you want to go out for a drink? He's just got that look. And like Rob Trujillo, he's like, what the frick am I doing here? James is looking pretty cool there. He's just chilling out. Didn't brush his hair. Kirk is like the ageless wonder. I think he looks the same as he did on frickin' you know, Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, pretty close anyway.
Yeah. He looks the same. He doesn't age. But all right, well, this was fun. Thank you for joining me, Aaron. And
thank you.
Everybody else, enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks for letting us talk to you about Saint Anger. All right, guys. Adios.
Bye.